But let's talk about Alec Baldwin. So we're going to revisit the Crowder stuff, obviously, because we have 50 billion super chats about it. And I just want to let everyone know that YouTube deletes the super chats after a certain amount of money. So we can only go back to like, there's a bunch. But I'll read them. And the current poll says, who is right, Candace? I'm sorry, who is right, Crowder or DW? 74% say Crowder, 26% say Daily Wire. But let's talk about Alec Baldwin. We have this story from Vanity Fair. Let me just say at the start of this segment, ladies and gentlemen, I believe I called it. And I had people telling me I was crazy and telling me I was wrong. He's being charged with he's going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter. So is the armorer. Another guy, the assistant director, I think, took a plea deal for negligent discharge of a firearm. But let me tell you why I said I called it. There's a very important part in this story that I will pull up right here. Vanity Fair says, in addition to the bullet that killed Hutchins, well, I'm sorry, let me slow down. Alec Baldwin, as you know, about a year ago, was on the set of a movie called Rust. He was using a real gun in the filming, aimed it at the cinematographer during filming, pulled the hammer back, pulled the trigger, shooting her in the chest, penetrating her body and hitting another guy in the shoulder. Everybody was arguing whether it was an accident. How could the bullet have gotten the gun? I made the argument that we had learned. Alec Baldwin was in a dispute. I should say the execs of the movie production, the higher-ups, which includes Alec Baldwin, were in dispute with the crew. The crew was threatening to walk off set. There was animosity. Alec Baldwin said he was friends with her. Then he said they weren't friends. They didn't know each other. He had a dinner with her. Sounded like they were friends. Or was it negotiations? He also said in an interview that she was very forceful. I can't remember the word he used. And she kept telling him to do things over and over again. It sounded like he was venting frustrations.
About Helena.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Right. And so I said, that sounds to me like motive. Motive. What is it? Your crew is threatening to walk off set, costing you money. And Helena Hutchins was doing what cinematographers aren't supposed to do, giving you direction. That he seemed annoyed by, my personal opinion, but it's something he expressed. Opportunity. He had a gun, a real gun, that was supposed to be pointed, not at a human being. This is against the rules in any movie set. You never point a gun at a person no matter what.
This is against the rules ever, always in shooting. Like not just
unless you're intending to destroy it.
Right.
In hunting,
Alec Baldwin
everything.
lied and said he never pulled the trigger, just went off. That's impossible. It was a single action revolver. Hammer has to be pulled back. Trigger has to be pulled. Get this. Vanity Fair reports, in addition to the bullet that killed Hutchins, investigators found 5 additional live rounds of ammunition mingled among the movie's props and costumes. 2 loose .45 caliber bullets were discovered on top of a prop cart. A third was in a bandolier worn by Jensen Ackles. A fourth was in a gun belt worn by Baldwin. And a fifth was found in a box of dummy ammo. Entirely possible, with Gutierrez-Reed's fingerprints on it, they say. It's entirely possible someone mistook the live ammo that was lying around for dummies, put them in the box. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed pulled the ammo dummy rounds out of the box, didn't realize, loaded the gun, and that's what happened. Entirely possible. But when you factor all these things together, Alec Baldwin had live ammo on his belt, had the gun, pointed it at her, and shot and killed her. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how anybody would argue that it's more likely it was an accident when it's like he was mad at her because of the crew walk-offs, potentially. He pointed the gun at her, he shot her, and he had live ammo on his person. So it's like if we were going to ask someone, Occam's razor, in the absence of evidence, the solution that makes the least amount of assumptions tends to be the correct one.